our show for yet another morning. My name is Maureen. Let's see what's happening. Let's step on over to the news desk. Let's see what Kendall has as part of the headlines.
Good morning. Time now for a summary of your top stories. A French-Canadian citizen was shot dead while walking along the Bonterre Road on Tuesday afternoon, leaving residents there in shock over the disturbing incident.
We befriended each other some years ago, and he's always on his own, keeps his own to himself. Based on the reports I heard about the shots, the number of shots he given, it's probably a revenge or a targeted shooting. I don't know. Or I don't know if it's a robbery gone bad. Now that corner there is a very deserted corner, especially at nights, right? Because I walk, and from the time it's 7 p.m., there's no street light there. And it's very, very scary passing that corner. And it so happens that that's the same corner where they shot him.
I'm not happy at all. I'm happy because I live down the road there, and this happened there. By the God's grace, God will help us.
It's a quiet neighborhood.
Quiet neighborhood, very quiet. Never have no noise, no fight, nothing at all.
The father of the island's latest homicide victim is hopeful that others can draw a lesson from his son's untimely and violent demise.
Please, I'm begging, if we can have our father who make a preparation for us, please try to stay by him and do good. That life is not reaching anywhere. I'm calling to the whole of St. Lucia. They could hear that little message, think twice, because there is no way when you lose your son, he can come back.
Philip says he is heartbroken over his son's death, despite his son's troubled past. Meanwhile, residents of Grosley Town have made a plea for the violence to be brought under control. This follows the latest homicide, which occurred in a part of the town frequented by citizens and visitors alike.
As I said, you can't be proud about that, because everything is, the whole world knows about us now. We was one of the calmest countries in the world at a point, but now we compare with Jamaica and Trinidad and them places. You can't be happy as a St. Lucian about that. But even now, yesterday, 3 fellas coming from overseas, but I just live next door there. 3 fellas coming from overseas, and they know what's happening before me. So you could imagine. So it's traveling.
Prime Minister Philip Pierre at Monday's pre-cabinet presser expressed concern over the rising number of homicides. He has pledged to implement more robust measures this year to confront this pressing issue head-on. A draft tax administration and procedure bill has raised concerns about increased penalties and powers conferred on the controller of the Inland Revenue Department in recovering outstanding taxes to the government.
An increase in penalties, so if you're late in paying your taxes, the penalty would be 20%, whereas now it's 10%. Whereas we pointed out that no way we should be, even if people are late, sometimes it's because they don't have the money. And if you're going to be charged interest of 12.5%, it's just not going to make matters any better. So, but again, to be fair, they said that they will take people's concerns and on board, and hopefully that when the final act is passed, I would say the vast majority of the act is not alarming. There just are a number of issues that hopefully they will address. They're not aware of them, and so it may not be as punitive as it might look to some.
Over the past few weeks, the Inland Revenue Department has been holding consultations with stakeholders on the proposed legislation. Finally, the OECS Commission, with support from USAID, is hosting a workshop to review existing child justice and child care protection and adoption legislation in St. Lucia, as well as 5 other OECS member states.
We really want to start pushing the implementation, and we need to get this done to get our legislative drafting happening, get our policy frameworks in place, because while we may have a law, we need the other structures around it to really implement. And more importantly, if we're going to look at changing child and youth justice in the region, we need programs to support it.
The exercise is bringing together a variety of agencies involved in youth justice. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Kendall, thank you so much. We now take a break. We'll be back. Wednesday, so it means we've got 3 amazing features for you today. Our first one, we kick off with Mr. Moise. Mr. Moise is responsible for the community of Babonneau and also Groseilliers, aligned with the Ministry of Equity. It's interesting that these bodies do exist. Did you know? Take a look at this. We're here with Mr. David Moise. Mr. David Moise is from the Groseilliers community. Groseilliers and Babonneau, is it? Groseilliers and Babonneau. And you're attached to the Community Council?
Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment as Social Transformation Officer for these 2 regions.
Right. What does that mean? What does your role
Basically,
entail?
as Social Transformation Officer, we're involved in community development, which basically is the process of trying to enhance the well-being, the livelihoods of persons within, people within a specific community. It involves the whole idea of collaborative efforts, basically to meet the needs of these people, to address some of those needs, and also the whole idea of fostering social inclusion, and also trying to find sustainable ways to ensure social, economic, and environmental development of these communities.
How important is this
I think
in terms of the original, because starting or concentrating on the community and doing the groundwork there, how important is that to add to the whole value of the nation as a whole?
Well, I think it is important because, first of all, people have needs that must be met in order to ensure that they are functional, that they are able to survive in society. So once those needs are met, whether it be through capacity building, whether it be through the whole idea of engagement, whatever it is that you can do to help people express their needs, you attempt to meet those needs. Once people feel comfortable, then they start to take ownership of their community, and I think that is important towards nation building as well.
Right. What has been your track record in terms of, since you've been holding down that position? What are some of the things that you've encountered? What are some of the areas you're able to address?
Well, for me, I've been involved in community work for a number of years. Even when I first started as a teacher and now moving on to community development and community work through the Ministry of Equity, I must say that it has been an exciting experience for me. It has caused me to work closely with some of our community-based organizations as well as our faith-based organizations and some of our government agencies and the residents to try to address some of the most pressing needs in the community. And our needs are not specific to just any one particular area, it's far-reaching. We work with in areas of livelihood development, trying to develop skills within our young people, trying to build capacity within groups so that they are better able to help in addressing needs of their own community, rather than for someone to come in and do it for you, you do it for yourself. That has been very interesting. We work with organizations when it comes to disaster preparedness as well, and other agencies like our health, especially during the COVID period. We worked closely with the sector to ensure that persons were aware of the impacts of COVID and also were prepared, who was willing to receive the vaccine, who had views, who needed more information. We worked with Ministry of Health to ensure that this was done. So that for me has been a very good experience over the last few years.
Right. Does everybody know you exist? So how does the community know that there's such a council and how to approach, how to reach out?
Okay, well, I wouldn't say that everybody knows. You must always, there's room for improvement when it comes to communication in any area. But every community in St. Lucia has a social transformation office. I think there are about 12 of us within the unit. So each community has. You could find out about us through the Ministry of Equity. But also we have our sub-offices within some of our regions. So Groseilliers, for example, Babonneau, we each have our own offices, and we're there practically 24/7. We may not necessarily be in the office always because our post is that of a traveling officer. We go through the community, as I say, but we are there in the community. So we can be reached through the Ministry of Equity or through any other agency you could ask, and they will direct you to us.
From your standpoint, we got to wrap up, but from your standpoint, what is on the itinerary for, we are now in the year 2024, what are some of the things on the itinerary?
Well, for 2024, for us, we have some major initiatives that we'd like to bring about. Firstly, we have a parenting program that we'd like to implement through our communities. We have a mentorship program, and all of these are aimed at crime prevention and intervention, trying to help reduce that crime issue in our island. And also we have, we're trying to make a priority our community profiles at this point in time. We've been working closely with organizations such as Joie and with others to help build capacity within communities where we can develop those profiles, where we can help communities become safer. For me in Grizzly, I'm currently looking at developing our vulnerability capacity assessment to help reduce the impact of disasters in our community. So these are some of the things that we're looking at, and also youth empowerment as well. We work closely with our youth workers to try to ensure that we address some of these issues affecting our young people in our communities.
Wonderful. And finally, if persons, how can persons within your jurisdiction be of help?
Yes, we encourage volunteerism. So if you would like to volunteer, you could contact us. We will make arrangements as to what you can do, or in areas that you can assist us or other organizations in getting some of the work done. Or we can cause a link with other agencies as well, where you may seek to volunteer or provide that skill, that ability, that talent that you have to help build our communities.
Right. Throw the contact again.
Well, for me, David Moise, I can be contacted my personal number, 712-0689, or you could contact us through the Ministry of Equity, 568-5108, or you could just visit the community, ask for your social transformation officer or welfare officer. You are sure to get in touch with us.
Wonderful. Mr. Moise, thanks you for your
Thank
time.
you very much.
And, we hope to see more of that happening, throughout, more activeness within that purview.
We probably will call you on to see firsthand what's happening.
We would love that,
Yes,
actually. Give us
yes.
that call. Certainly.
Thank you
you
very
again. Our young ones, they're different. Times are changing, things are moving quickly at that, and being able to keep up with our young ones and the appeal in terms of when it comes to the education is something that you constantly have to keep an eye out for. So we caught up with Joy. We call her Joy. She's Bernice Joy Lewis from the Joie Innovative Learning Solutions. All right, well, we're here with a young lady. It's not my first time interacting with her, but certainly it won't be my last either, because I like what she's about. I think where she's heading, her approach to the whole educational fabric is where our children needs to go. I mean, she has found the perfect marriage between the technological age and education. Mm-hmm. So fun learning through technology. Is that the right term?
Exactly
I think I got it right.
That's exactly it.
Joy is here. Bernice is her name. We call her Joy. Is here from Joie.
Yes, correct.
Innovative Learning
Solutions. Yes.
Right. We're about to launch something off in a while, but we wanted to talk about your approach to the whole education platform and that approach.
Yes. So we've seen that children don't like the chalk and talk. And
I like that, chalk and talk.
our aim was to make learning more exciting and fun, so we don't have children with their heads on the desk and children who are not learning.
Right.
Because if you're not participating, you're not learning.
Absolutely.
And so what we're doing is incorporating virtual reality into education. And we've seen already that we have, in our last program, we saw 30% of our children's grades improve from that 2-week program that they did. We recorded their term grades, and we've noticed an improvement in their grades.
Wow. Okay. So what it is really do you do? Let's break it down a little bit further. You have to be gentle with me, because technology eludes me all the time, but the younger people, this is where they are.
Right.
So that don't apply to them. They are definitely right of the alley of what it is you're dealing with. What are some of the things that you cover?
So the baseline for the program is first the science involving learning. So we tap into how people learn and how they get motivated, and then how to actually learn. So we teach them how to learn first, and then they use the virtual reality to do that very same thing, right? So even though the children don't understand this, we as the adults scaffold their learning of the techniques for them to learn and pull them in with the virtual reality and then get them to
You look like
maximize
you're
their
around
learning.
my age group. How easy or how hard was it? Were you always into the technological life? Or science? You were into science?
No,
how did you-
I'm an English person.
So how did you bring this?
I just had
idea
to
together?
because as a teacher, I saw that my children were wilting and I was bored myself. So I had to do something to improve the space for first myself and then for the children.
Well, this is a blueprint because this is like probably the first that we're exploring on that magnitude, that sort of approach.
Yes.
Now, what is your ultimate goal? Do you plan or do you see or have there been any sort of interest from other educators or other bodies within the ministry and all of that that is now looking towards, especially you've been having success results as well. So have you been seeing any sort of interest in persons
Yes,
seeing this
definitely.
as the way forward?
Definitely. The Ministry of Education is excited by this. Those were their very words this week. And they want to scale it across the island to not over only District 1 schools, but the districts further down the island. So we want to take it to as many schools as possible because we see that it does have, positive impact on the students, and by extension, it will have a positive impact on society because when children don't feel that they are well placed in society to fill in the jobs and the roles that they need to, then we get crime. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Wonderful. How difficult or how hard was it mapping out this whole thing and making it into a workable
Well, it took a
program?
lot of work, a lot of groundwork, a lot of planning. The team worked really, really hard on this, and we're still fine-tuning to make sure that before we leave St. Lucia and go across the OECS, that it is a work of art.
Absolutely. Now, briefly, I know you have a launch coming up. What's it on Saturday? You're going to be launching on this Thursday at 10 o'clock at
The Financial Center.
the Financial Center. So is that open to anybody? Everybody
It's
could come?
open to the media. It's only open to a few students at various schools and some ministry officials, and we have some private sponsors like UNICEF, and the OECS will send a representative. And yeah,
I'm happy.
So
getting
you're
this around,
invited.
yes. I'm happy this is taking off the way
Yes,
it's supposed
it
to.
is. Yes,
Wonderful.
I'm
Anything
happy
you
to.
want to leave with us?
I just want to big up my principal, Mr. Willard Andrew, who's been so supportive of what we're doing and this project, and he sees the value in it as well. And yeah,
Absolutely.
and everybody who's ever supported us from the ground up.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to what this can mean for us as a society as well, and our younger ones, our students.
We have to do something.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, you could refer to our final feature as just a continuation because we caught up with two students from the Corinth Secondary School who was part of a program that was put on by Joie as well. And we got to talk to them about, we wanted to get a feel from them as well. It's important to hear from our young ones. We're here with two top boys in the Corinth School, I'm here with Alex. Alex, we're coming back and talk to you now while we're here with Cregan. Now, first, before we roll on to anything, what I mean, what the badge for? This is what? This is what?
That's the first place badge for top in my class.
Wow, bring it in, brother. Right, and you also have a most consistent.
Yeah, because
And you
I
have
passed.
a merit badge.
Yeah.
So listen, we have students that doing the thing, You understand, and it's important for us to highlight us. Now, over here to this gentleman, you all are friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is top partners and things. They're charging.
Cousins.
Your cousins as well?
Yes.
Wow, they're running the family, boy. Wow. Okay, so Alex, I wanted to come on to because there's a program you recently enrolled in, and we wanted to find out a little bit about your journey into the program. I think you topped the program.
Yeah.
Tell me about the program, Alex. Which program? What was the name of the program?
What the program name is What's in Your Backpack. It's a
Oh.
program about learning while playing. So like they have games called Jeopardy and VR learning games, which are like flashcards, so like you wouldn't forget, and
Right.
highlighting the information on your studies.
Right, so you recently completed one of that. So not at top of the thing. When that thing was rolled off, you wanted to get involved, or mommy tell you, all right, I signing you up for this?
My mother enrolled me.
I know the drill, Right, was it something when mommy said that you're saying, Or you was, okay, nah, I'll do it.
At first, I didn't want to come, but when I come there for the first week, I found it was very nice.
Right. So then you completed the program and you come up at the top. What were some of the things you walked away with from part of that program?
Things like study, like pencils and um, pencil case, different things, and they have a program now that like you could like they say a PowerPoint about VR learning, and if you get it, like if you win, you get a VR so you can learn at home.
Oh, the VR is the thing.
Yeah.
There's a thing in the eye. Where's it? There's a thing in like the goggle thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, what is your take? I want to get a sense of your take as young people. That kind of approach to learning, because it's not the traditional way of doing things. Is
Yeah.
that do you all think it's a better way to learn? You would prefer that to be the way of learning going forward?
Yeah, because I feel like you can also play while learning.
Right. So it makes it fun, but at the
Yeah.
same time you walk away with the same
Knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard getting the rest, the old school teaching people to understand that?
It's not hard, but like I find the VR is better.
It's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the old school people, they might say, oh, "What's that? We don't want to do that." They wanna knock the book in and you had to sit down there and you had to read a whole book and you had to know the timetables. If not, pow pow. You get me? What's your take? I know you didn't do the program, but I'm thinking the next time you come around, you might do it. But what is your take on that level, that kind of learning, using things that you all are exposed to, you all new in technology and them kind of thing to teach?
It would be better since most children use technology nowadays. So, but if the old folks can't use it, like some students can teach them.
Oh, I like that part. I like that. You see that part there, brother? I like it. Say that again. For the people like myself, the old bones, that don't really understand them things there, we shouldn't push back against it, but we should encourage and find it as a way that we could bond with you all, don't?
Yes.
You see what? So hear that no. Always the big boys in the thing. So moving forward, what is the advice you give to other students like yourself? Like you just mentioned, let we make it something where we could all come together and learn each other, break the barriers, the generational barriers. What would you say to persons?
There's a time for everything where you can learn and play. But you cannot just play. There's a time for learning.
Absolutely.
So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
I like this. What's the motto of your school? Corinth. You're coming back, Where's the motto of your school? You know it? What's your motto of school? It's good motto. I don't believe this. All right, we're going to learn that in a bit. When you come back next time, we roll it on that. Right? But keep up the good works, gentlemen. I really appreciate this. I mean, continue to, come back with more of those badges, man.
Yeah.
The future is bright. I'm proud of you guys. All right? Yeah. Manners and respect. Bring it in. Absolutely. Well, you're going to teach me how to use them VR thing, right? You have to get it. I could buy that online?
Yeah, you can buy it online.
All right, so when I buy one, so you're just buying a VR headset?
Yeah,
or you had to be attached to something?
Yes, something.
Okay, well, I'll get back in touch with you. You'll tell me what I need, and when I find it, I'll come look for you.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful. Gentlemen, all the best in your studies and your future endeavors, all right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Keep those flags shining high. Yeah? Appreciate it. The future looks good, Ciao. There you go. That is our show for today. A wrap on an awesome show. I hope you were inspired in some way and you're ready to go out and have an awesome day today. Let's do it all over again tomorrow. Tomorrow we also have 3 features. So make sure that you join us again for another DBS this morning.